What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Final Whistle. I'm Danny Erdman alongside my guy, Nathan Osler. And Nate, today, Valentine's Day special. Our
Yeah,
Valentine's Day special. I got the glasses. I got the festivities going on. We last episode we had special guest Jordan Tree on, so we didn't really get to talk much about the Super Bowl. So today will be
nah.
kind of our Super Bowl breakdown. So yeah. Also, it says that a premium account on X is required to create live
Yep.
broadcasts.
Yep.
So
We're not doing that then.
we're not premium.
No, I ain't paying to use Twitter.
Is
Sorry,
that you got to be
everyone.
verified?
Yeah, you got to be verified.
Crazy.
Tough. We were gonna try going live on X for anyone watching on
Sad.
YouTube.
Just
but
sad. Yep. Well,
we got to pay to do that.
We'll stick to YouTube. Not paying.
Tough.
But yeah, Valentine's Day episode. Shout out all the Valentines.
Happy Valentine's Day,
Happy
man.
Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day to my girlfriend Sarah. Love you. But yeah, let's get into the Super Bowl. This was belt to ass, Nate, and there's really no sugarcoating this at all. And I was a guy who I was like, this is free. This is Chiefs. I put the hammer down on the Chiefs, Nate. I put the hammer down fully on the Chiefs. I got confident. I said the three-peat is inevitable. This was the worst Super Bowl I've watched ever. Maybe ever. And that might now say I was on the Eagles, I would disagree with that. I'd probably be like, oh, this is a fun Super Bowl, and Chiefs got blown out. Man, did Patrick Mahomes suck? Did he suck or what, Nate? I mean, he had 33 yards the first half, no?
He had a QBR of 11.4. This is the Steelers type of offense.
I mean, yeah, literally I saw a tweet that said Steelers fans got to watch the Steelers in the Super Bowl for the first time since 2008.
Practically what this was. It was depressing to watch and the funny thing is, you're welcome, America. This was the first time I rooted for the Chiefs, so of course they lost. That's how it works. This was a game. This was a game I hardly watched. This is the most least interested I was in a Super Bowl. It just wasn't competitive. 24-0 at half.
And then I don't even want to get started on. So Nate, I was very heavily on the Chiefs, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then halftime strikes. I'm already in piss, and then I have to hear wop 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 wop.
Oh yeah.
And you know what? The best part of the Super Bowl was that halftime show was so bad, and everyone online agreed with me and was like, "Oh, it's so bad, it sucks." Drake dropped an album last night. Now the tides have turned, Nate. We're back.
The tides have turned.
Kendrick's out. Drake's back in. It's a good time. But let's get back in the Super Bowl talk. I do want to say something, and we briefly covered this in our last episode. Kenny Pickett is a Super Bowl champion, and I honestly have a lot of people that told me this would never happen. Kenny Pickett sucks.
Let's go, Kenny.
Listen. I told people, I said, listen, Kenny Pickett's going to win a Super Bowl. And I had that picture of Kenny Pickett with the Lombardi trophy. I don't know if we can find that image somewhere. I tried 2 days ago to buy a Kenny Pickett Eagles jersey with Super Bowl patch. Couldn't find it anywhere. I couldn't trust DHgate, but because they wanted they just couldn't figure it out. Hell Pitt. Nate, 40-22. So at halftime, you said it was 24-0. And then at halftime,
then it became 34-0.
The Chiefs won. Did they? No, they did not. I was gonna say the Chiefs won the second half. I think that they tied the second half. I believe.
No, they did, but it was already over.
Yeah,
they scored 16 points in the fourth. There was no chance.
Yeah.
It was at one point 34-0, and then the Chiefs started scoring. It was the largest margin was 40-6 Eagles,
which is just gross.
You said it perfectly, belt to ass.
It was. And Jalen Hurts played great. And Nate, do you remember what I said a few episodes ago? I said the only way that the Eagles can win a Super Bowl is if they blow out the Chiefs. I said they have to start hot and keep the ball moving. That's the only way you could beat the Chiefs, because I said you can't beat them in a one-score game. You can't. You have to blow them out. And they did just that. They started off hotter than anything. They scored a touchdown in the first quarter. And then that second quarter, man, oh my goodness. They put up 17 points on the Chiefs, and they scored a touchdown, and every quarter but the fourth.
Yeah, the interesting thing about this, I think it was last Friday leading up to the Super Bowl, I said this. The way the Chiefs were going to somehow win this game was managing to stop the run. But if that happens, the Eagles are going to have to pass. What happened? They stopped the run. Saquon probably has the most quiet game you could ever imagine. 25 carries for 57 yards. His longest was 10 yards. Compared to what he's done all season and in the playoffs, the Chiefs might have had the best game against Saquon Barkley of all the teams. But their passing defense just couldn't stop Jalen Hurts. I know he had a pick. It was a pretty bad throw. But then right after that, like Patrick Mahomes is giving Cooper DeJean right back the football on that pick 6. Yeah, Jalen Hurts put this team on his back. I think he's silenced a lot of doubters. He kind of silenced me a little bit too, because you know me, I wasn't really high on how he was playing, especially in round 1. The whole thing with Jalen Hurts is people like to compare him to the situation that the 49ers have Brock Purdy in. Jalen Hurts is just the perfect fit for the Philadelphia Eagles. And I've been hearing all week, and I hate this argument because it just wouldn't work. People are like saying like, well, what if he was on the Steelers? The Steelers picked Chase Claypool with that pick. He probably wouldn't be good on the Pittsburgh Steelers. No way. Because the Steelers offense is completely different, and it's completely differently designed than what the Philadelphia Eagles had designed. And the thing is, the Philadelphia Eagles are designed perfectly for Jalen Hurts. They are a mobile offense, and they can pass the ball as well. It's an air raid offense at the same time as being heavily on the run. The Steelers' offense leans greatly on the run, not so the passing. The Eagles' offense allows Jalen Hurts to do whatever the heck he wants. He's getting pushed. He's throwing moon balls practically to A.J. Brown. Like, these guys, Devontae Smith too. This Eagles team is just a perfect fit for Jalen Hurts. It's literally just a Brock Purdy situation, though. It's like, these are two QBs that for some reason, like we all debate all the time. Are they good? Are they bad? Jalen Hurts is better than Brock Purdy, don't get me wrong. But both of their situations kind of rely on where they're playing right now. Because Brock Purdy, is he good elsewhere? Maybe on a few teams, but I don't really know. Is Jalen Hurts good elsewhere? More than likely, yes, but on a few teams, probably not. And those would probably be your bad football teams. But the Eagles got a guy, and that is Jalen Hurts, and they are going to be in on other guys. I know Myles Garrett once traded. The Eagles are a team I completely expect to go after Myles Garrett. Them in Buffalo. I would not be surprised if Myles Garrett is a Philadelphia Eagle because he wants to win.
He's a Chief.
Yeah, we can talk about that another day or later in this episode. But like we had all these guys wanting traded now. Like Myles Garrett's getting traded. He requested one. Cooper Kupp's going to be traded. The Rams already said that. These are guys. This offseason is going to be a fun one. But like we said on, I think it was you were texting me in the other day. I think it was like this Chiefs team ain't going anywhere. They aren't. This Chiefs team, they looked bad. Brady's lost Super Bowls. Mahomes has already lost 1 Super Bowl to Tom Brady. Then I wake up the next day. I'm at work. I hear Stephen A. Smith saying the GOAT debate is over. Patrick Mahomes.
I think it might be over.
And here's the thing. Mahomes has a super, like, I don't think it's over in the aspect of that, but like Brady has beat Mahomes in a Super Bowl. But like Mahomes has done a lot more before the age of 27. His career is not over after this Super Bowl loss. I get why people are just writing it off because it's a recency bias, but I don't think it's over yet. I think he still has a whole career ahead of him. I'll be judging that in like 10 years maybe. But yeah, this was a game. This was not a good Super Bowl in my opinion. The football was literally just one side dominated. It was like watching an old whippy football team destroy my hometown high school. I don't want to dox myself, but I saw it all the time. You rural Fayette County, put them against like Gateway or something. You just get destroyed. Wow. That's what this felt like. It felt like I was back in marching band watching my football team get destroyed every week. It was sad in the aspect that like I expected a lot better. Like Patrick Mahomes, 11.4 QBR.
Better game for sure.
Yeah. Patrick Mahomes, 11.4 QBR. What the heck? Their MVP was Xavier Worthy, and he didn't do anything really until the second half. 2 touchdowns, 157 yards. Travis Kelce was nowhere to be found. He had 39 yards. D-Hop, 2 for 18. Juju, 2 for 16. Mahomes was their leading rusher, 4 for 25. Like Isaiah Pacheco, Kareem Hunt, Pirine, nowhere to be found. They just couldn't do anything against this Eagles defense. Like, I don't know who the MVP is, really. I know Hurts won it, but
it's Hurts. I think it's Hurts 100%. he played very well, and he threw that pick early in the game. Let's not forget that he threw that pick, and then his defense got his back, and then he didn't have to try hard. I think it was why Jalen Hurts was so good is because he didn't have to dial in and be like, okay, like now he did play well and he put up 24 points in the first half against the Chiefs. I think the MVP of this game is simply just the Eagles defense. They locked up. They locked up the Chiefs, and no one has done that. And we go back to this GOAT debate. Tom Brady came back from 28-3, right?
Yeah. I was kind of thinking this could have happened.
I thought whenever it was 24-0, I said, listen, if he comes back from this, it's over. It's the GOAT debate. It's done.
You would already give it to Mahomes.
Yeah. If he came back from 24-0 in the Super Bowl to win a three-peat, something Brady could never do, one of Brady's biggest accolades ever as a professional quarterback was that 28-3 game.
Yeah.
Right. So that will be a lot of people's argument when this is going to be a GOAT debate. So when it's all said and done, it's going to be like, well, Mahomes got blown out in the Super Bowl and he was down 24-0. He couldn't come back. Brady did it. That's a sizable argument, Nate. That is a pretty hefty argument to have. I don't know. I was leaning more the fact that I think Mahomes is the way better skilled quarterback of all time. But I think when you look at the GOAT, man, it might still be Brady. I don't know. Hopefully that changes.
I think I think this whole GOAT debate is on the aspect of I can't really like judge it right now.
Yeah.
Just in the aspect of Mahomes, I think he's only like 27, correct? He's still young.
I think he's maybe older than that.
His age, crap. 29. He's 29 years old. He's already won 3 Super Bowls. Like Brady has 7, including one with the Buccaneers. Mahomes is more than likely winning at least a few more Super Bowls, you would presume.
Crazy.
Like, Brady has almost 2 hands filled. Imagine if the Raiders win some while he's a minority owner. He might have more rings.
Yeah.
They probably won't, but who knows? My MVP of this game, this might be a wild one. I know Jalen Hurts won it. I want to discount the interception he threw, and this is why I'm changing my MVP if I had to do it. It's on the defense. I know J.J. Watt tweeted this during the game. Josh Sweat.
I agree, Nate.
6 total tackles, 2 solos, 2.5 sacks, 2 tackles for a loss, 3 QB hits. Yeah. That was part of the reason. Patrick Mahomes was sacked how many times this game? Let's see here. 6 times for a loss of 31 yards. Josh Sweat got him. Who else got him? He had 2.5. Milton Williams with 2. Jordan Davis with 1. Alex Hunt with a half. Never really heard that name. I might be a casual. But this D-line of the Philadelphia Eagles was nasty. I know Jalen Carter still had some big moments this game. I
100% agree with you that Josh Sweat should have been MVP talks. He had 3 sacks?
He had 2.5 sacks, 3 QB hits.
Yeah, that's different. That's awesome.
He was able to get to Patrick Mahomes at least 3 times and get credit for 2.5 sacks. I don't know how that doesn't win MVP. I get the QB usually wins the award, but if I'm looking at who played the best, Hurts did throw an interception. I would throw that away from MVP talk, but I'm not the one to pick Super Bowl MVP. I think a lot of people would say it should be on the defensive side. They had to pick 6. Cooper DeJean could have been a possibility. Imagine Cooper DeJean gets drafted lower than what I thought he should have been drafted. The Eagles landed Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean, the top 2 corners in this draft. And I was really worried about how they were going to do this game. They locked down this Chiefs offense until the second half, and I could care less about the second half with Xavier Worthy. They had a big enough lead. They could just bench all their guys if they really wanted to. The Chiefs were not going to come back from 40-6. Like, you had a 40-6 lead against a team that was 15-2. Like, this just proved that the Eagles clearly were the best team on paper this year, depth chart-wise. This proved that the Chiefs, like I said all year, they were vulnerable. This was the most vulnerable Chiefs team. They've had so many close losses. The Panthers, they almost lost to. The Broncos, they almost lost to. I also know they almost lost to the Broncos. They lost to the Broncos the final week, but that's because they benched everyone. But I'm looking back at that game where they blocked the field goal.
Yeah.
This Eagles team, they, like you said, belt to ass. They were destroying them. This Eagles team, I wouldn't be surprised if they're in the running for a Super Bowl in the next 4 years, like every year in that span.
Yeah.
This
With
team,
Saquon, for sure, it's possible.
I could see them winning at least 1 or 2 in the next 5 years easily because they have a great roster. How long Saquon Barkley they're locked up for? Do we know that?
I'm not sure. I don't think they have extended him yet.
What was his contract? I'm gonna look this up.
I think the Giants paid him.
Well, no, he didn't give him his franchise tag, so he's a free agent. It was a 3-year deal, so he's going to be entering year 2. It was 3 years, 37.75 million. So around 11.62 million signing bonus, 26 million guaranteed, annual of 12.58 million. So he's going to be there for 2 more years. If Saquon Barkley continues playing like he did, he has the best year of his career, almost breaks the rushing record. This Eagles team is going nowhere, Danny. It is going absolutely nowhere. Yeah. And like I said, I can completely see them going after Myles Garrett easily. They could give up that draft pick. Or there could be the thing where they just trade up in the draft because their GM, Howie Roseman, is probably the best GM in the league right now. Easily. The way he's drafted has been perfect. They don't need to do it. They trade up for these guys. They landed Jalen Carter because of his criminal whatever happened, the speeding thing. No one wanted to draft Jalen Carter, and they landed him at 9th overall. This was a dude that should have been number 1 overall. This Howie Roseman has the greatest luck as a GM of all time. They landed Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean, the best 2 corners in this last draft. And what happened? They locked down almost everyone this year.
Yeah, they had the best defense in the NFL, I think, for sure. And they went up against Mahomes, and they shut him down.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at Mahomes' QBR, 11.4 is just flat out embarrassing in the Super Bowl. Man, I don't know what else more to say about this. An incredible season for the Eagles. They were 2-2 at one point, Nate, and they lost 1 more game the rest of the season after that.
I remember saying they should have fired Nick Sirianni.
I do.
A lot of Eagles fans were saying Nick Sirianni should have been fired.
Yep. Now he's the tribal chief. So
as a Ring.
Yeah, Kenny Pickett is Super Bowl champion.
Yeah.
Do we have anything else we want to cover about the Super Bowl?
I had a little bit more I want to add about Howie Roseman here. What he's done to build this offense, especially too. You get Saquon from your division rival for practically nothing because Saquon's only getting $37 million. That's just something else. They have a great receiving core. They drafted Devontae Smith with their, I think it was it the number 1 overall pick that year? Or their first round pick. When was Devontae Smith overall? Crap. 10th overall pick in 2021, by the way. Devontae Smith.
Yeah.
Then they traded in the draft. They got A.J. Brown during that one draft. I think it was the draft where Kenny Pickett was picked by the Steelers.
Yeah.
They traded their picks for A.J. Brown. He used, the guys they're trading for are doing good things, a.k.a. A.J. Brown. They have a great receiving core. Dallas Goedert, in my opinion, is a really underrated tight end. I don't think he gets as much love as he should get. Jalen Hurts is basically one of your running backs. Saquon Barkley, Kenneth Gainwell. You have Jalen Hurts. He fits, like we said, it's literally Brock Purdy, but better. He fits perfectly in this offense. He has so many things complementing him, but the thing that differential from Jalen Hurts and Brock Purdy, I'm going to say this, is Jalen Hurts has proved he can do things by himself too. Jalen Hurts has proved he can be missing guys and win. There was the whole Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown debacle when they weren't connecting. What happens? They're still winning. Brock Purdy's missing his guys. They're getting embarrassed. And I like how Brock Purdy's been playing in San Francisco, don't get me wrong. And that's a topic for this offseason if he's going to get his contract or not. But this is just a testament of how good of a GM Howie Roseman's been. Probably the best GM in the sport right now.
Yeah.
Maybe all sports right now, too, the way he's been. This Eagles team. He's constructed this Eagles team, Danny, literally through the draft. All these guys he's drafted have been good. Like I said, Jalen Carter falling in the draft right into the Eagles' hands was perfect. I saw someone said they were like, imagine Abdul Carter. There's going to be some crazy thing. Abdul Carter does this crazy crime and he falls all the way down to pick 32. And that is the type of luck the Eagles are going to have. And they're going to add an edge rusher. Or they're going to trade up and get in that situation. And they have this crazy luck through the draft. And I think every team, especially the bad ones, especially your Raiders, your Panthers, your Atlanta Falcons even, these teams gotta be hoping like they can draft as good as Howie Roseman has done with the Philadelphia Eagles. Easily.
Yeah.
Thank you, Nicholas.
There you go. The fresh chop got you feeling nicey.
Fresh chop, yeah. It was really cold outside too when I walked out of Walmart.
You got your haircut at Walmart?
Yeah, I just went there, got a really quick haircut.
I didn't know Walmart does haircuts.
They have a couple haircut places there.
Really?
Yeah, they do pretty good.
I've never seen that in my life.
You've never had a Walmart that has a hair salon in there?
Never, ever have I gone to.
Wow.
I didn't know that was a thing.
It is a thing. It's not a thing up
Wow.
in Pittsburgh?
No.
You got to come down to Fayette County.
That's unbelievable.
Listen,
The Walmart shop. Okay.
it does the job.
The Walmart shop. That's
Walmart chop.
That's different. All right.
Listen, like other than that, look though, it's like this Eagles team, man. They're gonna be involved. I really think they could win multiple Super Bowls in a 5-year span. Like not even counting this one, the next 5 years, they could win multiple Super Bowls. That's all I got.
Yeah, I guess.
I hope not.
Yeah, I hope not too.
And I'll say this too, just for fun. Any Yinzer that said "Go Birds," they're not real Yinzers.
True.
Sorry to say it.
True.
You lost your Yinzer privileges for at least 1 week.
Yinzer privileges. Okay. All right. Well, that's our Super Bowl recap. I know you said that Valentine's Day special. You want to play
Valentine's Day.
a Valentine's Day game? Do we want to rip that right now?
Yeah, sure. I'm gonna go through. We see all day as Steeler fans. This player wants to be traded. This player is going to be a Pittsburgh Steeler. Blah, 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 blah. Brandon Ayuk this. Debo Samuel that. Yesterday, I wake up and see the Steelers have called Trevor Lawrence's the Jacksonville Jaguars and want to trade for him. Literally 10 minutes later, this is debunked. They said they hung up the phone easily.
Who tweeted that?
I know it was retweeted by Andrew Filipponi.
Philip
Yeah, Phil Capper, yeah. The Pitt Bayless.
Yeah, he is the most uncredible person I've ever met in my life.
Yeah. And all I see today is we're going to play a game, and I'm going to go through all these quarterback options because now we're going to enter like a little bit of Steelers talk. I'm going to give you a name.
Sure.
You're going to say if you love or hate that option
No.
for a QB of the future or a guy to play QB next year.
Okay. Love or hate?
Love or hate, and maybe if you love it, you can add why. If you hate it, you're allowed to add why as well. Okay.
Sure.
I'm going to go through as many names as I can think of that have been linked. Let's start with the easy ones. Start with the quick one. Justin Fields, the guy who's probably looking like he's going to be there.
To start or to stay?
Honestly, this is to start more than likely because right now the only guy in the QB room is Skylar Thompson. Here, let's start with this. How about Skylar Thompson? Love or hate?
Hate.
Hate. Okay, Justin Fields.
Love.
You love it?
I love
it too. I want them to. Now, let's get to this one. I know you talked to Tree about this. Russ.
Okay.
Russell Wilson. What are your thoughts on that one? Love or hate it?
Love it.
You love it.
Love Russ. I love Russ more than anyone.
If you're starting Russell, if the Steelers bring back Fields or Russ, who's starting next year out of camp?
Russ.
I think if Russ comes back, Fields ain't.
Okay.
I think it's one or the other. So let's now get into the crazy ones.
Okay.
These are the ones that people are linking to the Steelers. The betting odds love the Steelers getting these guys. I personally don't see it, but for some reason, everyone else sees it. Let's start with this one. Let's start with the one yesterday. Trevor Lawrence. Would you love it or hate it?
I would love that.
I would love it too, but it's sadly not going to happen. What worries me about him is this whole trading stuff. Not trade, the contract.
Yeah.
What else is there? Aaron Rodgers.
Let me pull this up. I'll show you what I think about Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, yeah, here we go. This is what I think, too.
Hate. Double hate. Loathe entirely.
Yep. I hate him.
That's what I think about Aaron Rodgers.
Bruh.
Steelers. Hate. The way.
You know, I'll just say this. I was thinking about this today.
Hate.
If the Steelers brought in Aaron Rodgers, you know what would be crazy?
Talk to me.
If you told me like 5 to 6 years ago, the Steelers in maybe a span of would be 4 to 5 years would have Big Ben, Russell Wilson, and Aaron Rodgers. If you told me that when I was like 12, I would be like, you're stupid.
Yeah.
Like, what the heck would can you imagine? They go from Big Ben, they fall off a little bit with Mason Rudolph and Kenny, and then they bring in Russell Wilson and Justin Fields, and then it's Aaron Rodgers. All these old guys.
Crazy.
It would be something. All these guys who were in their prime so much longer ago. Moving on. Guy that would have to sign. Sam Darnold.
Hate
it.
Hate it.
Moving on. Let's see this one. I'm trying to think. This one, the new betting favorites to land this guy, Matthew Stafford.
Love.
I think that's the best option.
I like Stafford as a quarterback. I think he would fit well with our offense. I would love that.
I would love it too. If they got Matthew Stafford, where does that propel the Steelers? Like, okay, per se, they do nothing else with this offense and add a Matthew Stafford. No other receivers, maybe just a rookie. How many games do they win next year?
11.
So practically where they're at now.
Yep.
I think Matthew Stafford gives them a better chance to win a playoff game.
Yeah, he does.
I think it easily does. Moving on, trying to think of another one that I've been seeing. Oh yeah, just for fun. I think this will be the last one. Because for some reason I could totally see this being a backup option just for the fun that it could ensue. And I would want this just for him to get his own radio show. Just because I saw him at Super Bowl Radio Row. Big Jameis Winston.
I love Jay. Start, or just be on the roster.
Oh, that's a tough one because I could easily see the Steelers saying, you know what, let's just say screw it and start Jameis Winston all year. But I would want him to just be a backup.
If he's a backup, I love
Listen,
Jameis.
He's the only 30-30 of all time.
Yeah.
Okay, here's one from Nicholas. Love or hate Najee Harris? I know your thoughts. Oh, here we go.
Hate. Double hate. Loathe entirely.
I hate him.
I'm going to look this up really quick. I'm going to pull up the current free agents of the Pittsburgh Steelers. These are guys that look like they are either going to go, they're going to need a contract, blah, 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 all that crap. Let's see here. Can't find this crap.
Hate. I hate Najee.
Where the heck are these? There, let me look up their contract status. Because there's a lot of free agents that they have to figure out, like ASAP. I know you hate Najee.
Hate him.
Okay, here's your free agents. We already went through Russell Wilson. We already went through Justin Fields.
Mm-hmm.
This website is probably wrong because they have Cameron Hayward. I'm pretty sure Cameron Hayward has been signed. Okay, WPXI. 24 Steelers set to become free agents. Okay. Kyle Allen. He can go. I think these are the two biggest ones. Najee Harris and Jaylen Warren. I think Jaylen Warren's the way to go. But
I like Jaylen Warren.
I could totally see a world where Omar Khan and Mike Tomlin are like, we want Najee Harris here.
Yeah.
They just keep them both. Michael Pruitt, I don't really care. Mike Williams, see you later. Van Jefferson, see you later. Ben Skoranek, you know what? Keep him for special teams.
Sure.
I liked him. Calvin Anderson, could care less. Dan Moore Jr., bye-bye.
Right.
James Daniels, keep him. Nate Herbig, I'd say keep him. Whoever the heck Max Sharping is, Ryan McCollum, Isaiah Loudermilk, Jeremiah Moon, Landon Roberts, please keep him. Tyler Matkovich, Dante Jackson. This is okay. What's your thoughts on Dante Jackson as a corner? You love him?
No.
You don't.
I don't like him. I think that he was a good move, but he just hasn't panned out for us at all.
I think with him, he's kind of just getting the luck of the turnover.
Sure.
Like the ball is finding his hands at the perfect times. But any other time, he's not playing a good like corner position. I'd honestly say move on. James Pierre.
I like James Pierre.
Yeah, I think he's a much younger
He
option.
can
too.
make plays, but he's also been terrible at some points.
CJ Henderson. For some reason, a lot of guys like CJ Henderson. I mean,
No, I don't like CJ Henderson. I think he's
Oh.
bad.
here's the best one on the list. Cam Sutton. Bye-bye.
I actually think Cam
Wow.
Sutton can be here and be on this team. I don't think he's as bad as people say.
And then
He's veteran.
DeMonte KZ.
I love Casey.
I think he's fun.
I think he makes plays at times.
I think out of all these free agents, though, like the questions are literally Fields, Russell Wilson, Najee, and Jalen Warren. I mean, Jalen Warren's probably more than likely coming back.
What about T. Higgins? You think that's out of
You
the
know what?
question?
Now I'm going to go to all the NFL free agents here really quick, and we're gonna do the love or hate this because T. Higgins is one that I think a lot of people want. Personally, I'm not going to get my hopes up for it. I think. I kind of think the Steelers are going to be in on Cooper Kupp.
Come on.
Sorry to say it. Hey,
I'm over that.
Spot Track has the top guy to get a deal. Oh, no, these are wide receivers. Let's go to all positions. The best, okay, all positions, the best free agents value-wise, 1, 2, 3, the top 6 are all wide receivers, by the way. This is a very wide receiver-heavy free agent list. Stephon Diggs is number 1. Love or hate?
I hate that. I think he sucks.
Yeah. I think it's also would be a locker room issue. Easily. Oh, here we go. And then number 2, T. Higgins. You already have the jersey at it.
Yeah. I like T. Higgins. I think he would fit very well in Pittsburgh. Very well.
Do you
He
think
would be a borderline number 2 guy?
Yeah.
With George Pickens, it would be kind of a 1A, 1B situation. I think he can make explosive plays. He is a very good receiver, and he's looking to win now. It depends if the Bengals disrespect him or not in the offseason with an offer. I think if they give him a bad offer, he'll be like, you know what, I'm going to Pittsburgh. I'm staying in the AFC North. I want to beat Joe Burrow twice a year.
Probably
Now,
wants to play for McDonald's.
watching Hard Knocks, it seems like Higgins had a great relationship with Burrow, with Jamar Chase, which does make me think that he's just going to resign. So I would love, this is my number 1. I don't think he's much better than Pickens at all.
I'm going to agree with Nicholas.
He's not much better than Pickens.
I think, okay, with George Pickens, I think he's going to be here next year. I don't think he's getting traded. I hope he doesn't get traded. The thing with George is I think he sits better as a wide receiver too. I think there's more routes you can give a wide receiver to. George Pickens' routes he's running seem to be just dead down the sidelines. I kind of want to see more creativity from these plays next year for George, for him to be able to do more. I think if you get a T. Higgins, you take a lot of pressure off of George Pickens as well. Like, I kind of see where you're going, 1A, 1B. I don't know. I don't really know where they would sit. Pulling up the comparison. Here we go. Here we go. You zoom that in?
Receptions. Yeah.
How many years have they both been in the league?
Pickens has been in for a few more years. This is just this is last season.
Okay.
This is fantasy, but same
Okay.
stats. I mean, more receptions,
More targets. It looks like 6.
Yeah, but look at the reception stats compared to targets. Yards, he barely has them. Yards per catch, George Pickens has them. Longest catch. The touchdowns. Look at the touchdowns.
Yeah, that's why I think a lot of people would take T. Higgins over.
Yeah, honestly, probably.
I'd still think a lot of people would say people would still want Pickens as wide receiver 1 just because it's George. But I think T. Higgins would add a lot.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I mean,
Yeah,
better
I like what
stats.
Nicholas is saying. He has a much better QB, but he's still doing this as wide receiver 2.
Yeah.
What do you think those stats translate to?
We've also seen guys that are wide receiver 2s become wide receiver 1s. That doesn't pan out well. But
may I ask this question?
Ask.
What does Higgins' stats, do they translate to a George Pickens type, whatever he would become a Steeler? Because they would more than likely go down with their offense because the Steelers are not a team that passes the ball a lot.
Hopefully they would go up, but
I hope so too, but I have my doubts. That's like, it would be a wild 1-2 punch.
Yeah, it'd be good. Pickens would be wide receiver 2, I think.
That's what I'm leaning to as well. But like T. Higgins has never been a wide receiver 1. It's been Jamar Chase over him.
Yeah.
But I think this would be a great situation. If T. Higgins wants to be a wide receiver 1, there's a few teams he's probably looking at. It would be the Pittsburgh Steelers. I could honestly see the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, they need a wide receiver bad. They'd be willing to pay him more than us too.
Another team that I've been seeing people think is getting a wide receiver and taking a next step could be the New England Patriots. I don't know why. Drake May gets his guy, maybe. I just hope the Steelers. I just kind of hope the Steelers use their money a little better this year because last year they kind of splurged it all on Patrick Queen. Kind of hope and prayed for Brandon Ayuk, but that never happened. They said their prayers.
Sure.
I think this is clearly, though, the number 1 option. Some other guys that I would like, I'd be fine with a veteran in Keenan Allen, but it doesn't really excite me as much as it would earlier. Amari Cooper, Chris Godwin I would love, but he's going back to Tampa. And then Brandon Cooks is number 6. And then the next best guy is Khalil Mack. Let's see this.
I mean, these are just his highlights. I mean, let's take a little bit of a deeper dive into this whole Higgins situation. Do you think there's any chance that the Rooneys pay this man T. Higgins? And also, we will not be getting copywritten for this video because this is not from the NFL.
Yep.
This is someone else's video, so we cannot be copywritten for this.
Heck yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you look at T. Higgins. I think George Pickens makes the more highlight play, but T. Higgins is more reliable in a sense. But I think George Pickens could do this on another team. He doesn't get the targets. You saw it. Yeah. You saw it over here. He does not get the targets. He has way less targets than T. Higgins does. Way less. Way less. What are your thoughts on do you think it's a genuine possibility that we can get T. Higgins?
Like Nicholas said here, like the money management, this is like literally what I just said earlier about Howie Roseman, how he's been a good GM. They can splurge on all the guys, and the guys they're hitting in the draft are just perfect. T. Higgins, though, I'm looking at his career. He's at 4,595 yards. He averaged 34 total touchdowns. I think he's a guy that would help the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm just kind of worried. Like you said, Rooney not giving the money. Rooney, they gave the money to Patrick Queen last year.
They give it to the defense because that's all that the Steelers care about is defense and smash mouth football. Yeah. The Steelers will never adapt to look at this. You see what Joe Burrow just did right there? What do you do? He threw it to the middle of the field. That hasn't happened in Pittsburgh since Ben Roethlisberger.
Bro, remember whenever Matt Canada first got fired and Kenny Pickett threw a ball to Pat Freiermuth middle of the field, everyone went nuts.
Yeah.
They're like, holy gosh, they actually did this. Okay, I have their actual like career head-to-head up. Like who's on a better trajectory. I don't know if you want me to pull this up for you.
Yeah, do it.
Let me see here. Let me see if I can present here. Let's see here. There we go.
This is career. Okay.
Yeah. There we go. That's their careers.
I mean, yeah, he's played 2 more seasons than him. More.
Like Nick, yeah, here's the thing. He is injury prone a little bit.
But he's played way more games, Drew. But that's just because he's played more seasons.
Yeah. Pickens is kind of creeping up really quick. The touchdown's not per se because the Steelers don't throw a lot in the end zone.
This year definitely didn't help.
Yeah,
George
this year
was on a few games.
Yeah.
George missed a few games.
And I'll give this to Pickens. He stays healthy. This is the first year he was actually out. The first year he actually missed games.
Yeah.
And like, it's getting. I'm very curious what they're gonna do here.
Same.
I don't know. Because I think a lot of Steeler fans want T. Higgins, but a lot of fans are like, at the same time, trade George Pickens. I don't get why you do either. Or, I mean, I don't get why you do the latter and trade George Pickens. You keep him, sign him maybe, get him. Because here's the thing. I said this in our show with Tree, and he kind of said the same thing too. You have to decide with George Pickens this offseason because he's a free agent at the end of next year. You have to sign him or extend him now before his price goes up, correct?
100%.
That makes a lot of sense, you would think. And, like, the Niners didn't do that with Brock Purdy last year. They didn't. Like, I don't know what the Steelers are going to do, and it kind of makes me think, like, are they going to be smart or are they going to be stupid with this? Mm-hmm.
It depends. You look at a guy like George Pickens, he can make these plays, right? But I want a guy that can do this, but I want a guy who can catch a slant for 10 yards and catch a ball over the middle of the field. Yeah. I don't like that we have to just wait the whole game until we get, the fade or the moon ball or whatever, but I don't know.
I'm going to look another one really quick while those stats are playing. I'm going to compare T. Higgins to another guy that Steelers fans want us to trade for, and you know who this is going to be already, more than likely.
God.
Not Debo at all. Let me share this. There you go.
Cooper Kupp.
He has a lot more games, and this seems like what a lot of people want them to do is Cooper Kupp. Because the thing with Cooper Kupp, he's already locked under contract. They wouldn't have to make up a new contract for T. Higgins. You don't have to compete with other teams. I would rather have Cooper Kupp than T. Higgins. Because what does Cooper Kupp provide? I think he provides veteran. He's a veteran guy. He can play the slot. He can play wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2. He can do it all. I think it's a great fit with a Calvin Austin as well, too. I don't know, really. Because
I'll take Kupp over anyone, Nate. Because, and I'll be honest, Kupp would be the perfect slot guy for the Steelers. Yes. We don't have a slot guy. Calvin Austin is not a slot guy. He's not a true slot guy. He's a deep ball guy that if we can utilize, he'll be fun. Cooper Kupp is the best slot receiver in the NFL, easily.
And Cooper Kupp, like Nicholas said here, he's younger. If you want to talk injuries, Cooper
over
is your guy.
Kupp? I'll take Kupp over.
Both Kupp and Higgins have had some injury concerns.
True.
But I think if the Steelers are in a desperation, we don't care who our quarterback is, we're just going to surround him with as much talent as we can.
Yeah.
I think it's Cooper Kupp. I can't now I'm going to look up this one because I'm actually kind of curious what this would even do for the team. Because for some reason, Steelers fans are all over this guy, and it's of course Deebo Samuel, but I want to look at his comparisons because I do not really want Deebo Samuel. His name is popular, but I do not want him because
Deebo.
Yeah. Let's look up here. You care if I share? There we go.
Go for it.
There's the comparison. Pickens is about halfway up to Deebo's, a little bit more over half of his career, but look how much times Deebo's been hurt. Deebo's been out for a lot of games, like sitting out, not being healthy. Pickens already is 10 touchdowns away from Deebo too. Like that's something. Deebo's been in the league since I think 2017. It said
Deebo hasn't done anything in this year. He had is this year?
This is his career. This is overall.
Can you look up this year?
Let me just go to his career this year. Let's see here. There we go. This is his career.
We can't compare this year.
No, I don't think.
Look it up. Let's see.
That's his career numbers. That's what he did this season.
Well, look this season. I mean, George Pickens he played 15 games. George Pickens had 300 more yards.
This is what's scary.
More receptions.
Hey, look at this.
3 touchdowns. George Pickens had, I think, 3 as well.
They're not adding much.
He sucks. He had a bad year this year.
Like, they're completely different. I get that aspect, but I get why people would love Debo Samuel just because he's a name, he's a popular guy, but he didn't have a good year. I don't know what this would add. He is only 29. He is still young in the aspect of, I mean, kind of young. I think he's younger than Cooper Kupp, actually. Hold up.
He should be. Yeah,
Cooper,
he is. 100% he is.
Oh,
Kupp's old.
we might have to do another episode maybe next week going through this stuff because there's so many different things they could do. And I don't understand. It's every week there's a new option.
And everyone wants to trade. I mean, I genuinely think that Debo will stay in San Francisco. A guy like Cooper Kupp is 100% gone, but Debo is not 100% gone yet. Like, Kupp is gone, right? He's gone. They already said we're moving on from Kupp. We're going to trade him. T. Higgins is not gone. T. Higgins is, I would say, 87% of me is going to say that T. Higgins is a Bengal.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'd say 100%. He's a Bengal.
I think the best chances the Steelers have at adding a wide receiver are either Cooper Kupp or drafting a guy, if that counts.
It's drafting a guy like Luther Burden, I think, would be your best bet.
I like Igbuka.
Igbuka is good as well.
I think Igbuka can do more splashy things in the slot, especially.
Sure.
Because I think that would take a lot. I think that also takes a lot of pressure off of George. And I think the Steelers are hoping and praying that Roman Wilson is going to be good to go next year. Or are we officially off on Roman Wilson right now?
Or I'm done with him.
You're done with him? He didn't. Yeah. I wish he got to play more. That was upsetting how that all went down. I don't understand what happened with that. Before we end this in a little bit, what are the percent chances? First, let's get through this one. And we can talk about this more in another episode when we do more deep dive of this, because I want to kind of do this more so. What is the percent chance? One out of 10 Pickens is on another team next year. 1 through 10. 10 being the
0.
best. You say 0.
No shot George Pickens is on it. His contract's on it.
Well, that's the thing. If the Steelers don't extend him, do you think Pickens is going to be the guy that's like, I'm holding out to give me a contract? I hope not. But, like, I'm kind of worried he could be.
I don't think so. Honestly, I really don't.
I hope not. I don't think he is, but I think a lot of Steelers fans are kind of worried about that because we saw AB, we saw Le'Veon.
He might request a trade.
Yeah.
Today that the Dolphins released Raheem Mostert.
Really?
Yeah.
That
was a guy who was very good 2 years ago.
Yeah, him and A-Chain.
Yeah.
Dynamic duo. The Steelers are in a weird situation. I think it's just a very odd time. I don't know what they are going to do. I have my preference. If I was saying my preference now, it's keeping George Pickens and trading for Kupp. Just because there's not as much question marks. You have a question mark if you're drafting a wide receiver. If it's Burden or Mbuka, awesome. But there's question marks. Are they going to be good in the NFL? They played for good schools. They played for Missouri and Ohio State, SEC, and the Big Ten. Perfect. But Roman Wilson also played for the Big Ten. And what happens? He played one snap this entire year.
One snap is
landed in Steelers prison.
Or cooked, Nate.
Yeah.
We might be actually cooked.
You know, man, I'm going to get off topic here before we go. Our good friends, the Washington Wild Things.
Yeah.
They're starting to piss me off.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm starting to get pissed off.
How's that? Taking shots at the Pirates?
Yeah, you're not in Major League Baseball is different than Frontier. Like, you can't tell me independent baseball is on the level of professional baseball. Like,
no.
They said, some dude quoted, "I love you guys. What do you think of the protest against the Pirates?" The Wild Things quoted, "Some teams are on the doorstep. Other teams are on the doormats." Like, what the heck?
Yeah, they've been taking a lot of... I've seen that.
They've been taking a lot of jabs. I think I know who's posting them, too.
Sure. I'm a forever fan of the Wild Things.
Yeah.
I got my inaugural ball right here. Let me try to find it.
Your inaugural ball. They used a picture of me today.
No way.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah, it was on their last tweet, and I was like, you got to be kidding me.
Inaugural season.
I made it.
Yeah. I know. I have nothing but respect for the Wild Things, but they I love them, but crazy.
What an episode.
Well, yeah, good episode today. Not a lot. We're going to be struggling to find some content now. Super Bowl's
It's
over.
just going to be off
We
season.
we're a football, primarily football show. We're going to have to pivot in the NBA, but now that it's time to pivot, Nate, it's the
Yeah.
All-Star break for the NBA. So we have about a week of just I don't know what the hell is going on, right? So we got a week until the NBA is back, and then we can start talking NBA if you're keen to. I know I am.
Yeah.
But we've got some to dial in for this offseason. Got to dial in. Maybe we can start doing our mock draft. But
You know what? Let's do a mock draft every week because I think it's going to change every single week.
every week, I feel like every other
Once a week.
That's a lot of. I'm gonna have about the same picks for everyone. I'm gonna have about the same picks.
Well, here's the thing: if you do, you get it once a day on PFF, and it changes every day based off the news. Like teams take different guys.
yeah,
We know. Let's do once every other week. Let's do the first
yeah,
one next
that's
week.
fair.
Do
Sure.
we do it Tuesday or Friday? What do we think? Actually, let's do Tuesday.
Yeah, next
Um,
episode mock draft, and
I kind of want to do a deeper dive on this
Sure,
wide receiver thing, and maybe
Yeah.
some NBA talk.
bang, we got it.
Hey, your Lakers trade was rescinded or whatever it was.
Sad. They got Alex Len, who is he was on the Raptors, and he's probably my least favorite Raptor of all time. Alex
He's
Len.
back.
He
Alex
sucks.
Len. What a
He's
guy.
horrible. Well, that's
Oh,
really all
hey.
we've got for today.
I got the Steelers breaking news from Pitt Bayless. Before we
Hold
go,
up, screen share.
breaking.
Break,
let's
just
see
screen share.
here. You want me? You sure about this? This might make us mad.
Do it, dude.
Actually, it might not make us really mad, but like it's getting to the point where I don't want this crap. I'm gonna zoom it in. Of course he does. What do we think before we go?
He doesn't know what
I
he's
agree.
talking about at all.
We'll do some March Madness stuff too.
Yeah, March Madness would be fun. Do you want to see? Oh, I'll pull this up.
If they prefer Russell Wilson over Justin Fields, I think they're crazy.
I agree.
No offense to Russ, he did some good, did some bad. They need to get younger. They need
breaking news. Shut up, Filipponi. Art Rooney. Who told you this? Click on Mark Caboli.
Him.
Look at this guy.
Caboli.
Pat McAfee guy. This is Caboli. We're trusting this guy.
This is Mark Caboli.
We're
Yinder.
trusting Caboli.
Yeah, this is like the Steelers like media guru. This is their
He
giant.
can't button his last button, Nate, on his collar, and we're trusting the guy who can't button the last collar on his shirt.
Mark Caboli.
Physically can't button his collar.
He's posting
We're trusting him.
wrestling, blah blah blah. Mark Caboli. That's who's saying it. Let's
Go back to the tweet.
Probably
It
one
says
of them
Art
to
Rooney prefers Russell Wilson to Justin Fields. So do I. But when Andrew Filipponi tweets something, Nate, this is what I imagine. This is what happens in Andrew Filipponi's head. That's it. He doesn't know what he's talking about whatsoever. At all. There's nothing going
It's
on in
clickbait.
Filipponi's head.
It's
He's a liar at this point.
It's just
His
clickbait.
sources are fake. He doesn't have sources.
Listen,
His sources are. Nate, this would be like if I wanted to tweet and I go, yeah, my guy Nicholas his source just said that Steelers are probably Steelers probably gonna go for Mahomes.
I need to play the video of him
I
The
saw
day-
this. Oh my god.
the day before
Right.
he's like breaking Steelers news.
He's like, it will be tomorrow on our show.
Yeah.
Shut up. Look at him. Play this.
Get go.
Can you
So
hear
much
it?
there.
Yeah, he's doing his
Food.
ad. Food,
Beer,
gas.
gas, clean bathrooms,
Shut
snacks,
up,
car
Filipponi.
wash, you name it.
Fraud pony.
Just heard something very interesting about our football team
Our football.
Yeah.
in its
Wow.
pursuit of a quarterback.
yeah,
And I'm going to share that tomorrow on this Twitter page
Yep.
on our radio
Yep.
show.
You have to click it, and then the news. Yeah, there we pause it right there. And then this is what it was from Ryan Burr. So let's do an even deeper dive. Ryan Burr, Big Ten Network Hoops, PGA Tour Live, owner of blah blah, entrepreneur, a sports drinking Q slum. Hey, Syracuse, by the way.
Shout out to you.
This is he's not even a football writer. PGA Tour, Big Ten Hoops. Like,
I'm so over it. I'm so over Filipponi's fake.
I was
sources,
going through
bro.
his stuff.
He's
No,
the
he's
biggest capper I've ever seen, football wise.
Where was this? Yeah, here it is. Here it is. Steelers inquiring about Lawrence speaks volumes with Steelers, blah, 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 blah. I don't believe the Jags had any interest in dealing their guy. Good on Omar Khan for asking. Highly doubts the Steelers starting QB 25 was on roster in 24. How does he know this? Then Filipponi's like, oh, I have breaking Steelers news. Then he's posting this crap from the Twitter AI. Big hoss right
He
here.
does look good in it. Maybe if he cut his hair. But
Hey. Then the guy joined him on the show yesterday. Of course. Then he's eyeballing emoji a Trevor Lawrence touchdown pass.
Shut up, Filipponi.
And I voted.
This
He
guy's the
posted,
worst.
I voted Spencer Horwitz. No one wants to talk about the Pirates in this town. It's all Trevor Lawrence. Let's talk about him, who's not going to happen, rather than a guy who got hurt at spring training. Let's talk about something that's fake. Now, Coward fell for this too. Applauding the Steelers. I can't. I can't. That's going to piss me off.
It's already done it. I'm already pissed off. I hate Filipponi. I gave him a lot of credit as a man in the media, a reporter. He lost all his credibility with the Brandon Ayuk thing.
May I ask, can we try to get him on the show?
That'd be bad.
I think it would be pretty funny. I'm not.
I think I would create an enemy.
You'd create an enemy forever. Hey, I might meet him in a couple weeks.
You tell him to join the final whistle. We'll be fake.
Join the final whistle. Come on. I want to hear all your.
Let's see if is Joe Montana coming out of retirement to become a Pittsburgh Steeler.
He posted yesterday. Question: what incentive does a golf reporter have to make up a story about Trevor Lawrence? I love all the replies. Everyone's saying nothing. You're an idiot.
Not wrong. Well, before I rip on
crash out
Tony too much. That's all we got for today.
Yeah, that's it.
Let's not drag it out here. Thank you for everyone tuning in to another episode of The Final Whistle. We will see you on Tuesday. And thank you to everyone who tuned in on this very, very nice Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's
I can't wait
Day.
to take these glasses off. I've been seeing red for 58 minutes now. We've been going on. I have seen red. Literally, that's all it comes through. So we can't wait to get these glasses off and see normal light.
When the brackets come out, we're making a bracket.
For sure. Selection Sunday, we'll have a Selection Sunday show. Have you been following college basketball at all, Nate?
Not really.
Get into it. It's very good this year.
I keep up with who's winning. I couldn't tell you half the players, though.
Auburn versus Bama's coming up. That's going to be a great game. Iron Bowl 1 and 2.
We will be making brackets, though.
Sure. Well, that'll do it for today's episode. Happy Valentine's Day to everyone.
Happy Valentine's Day.
And we will see you all next time.
See y'all later.